Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Johnny here with the Veteran SA Podcast. Yay, finally we're up and running. It's our first episode. So this is our May edition of our podcast. So sticking with the themes of our magazine, we're talking about, veterans, Memorial Day, honors, the trades, tributes, transitioning from the veteran, from the military, and all these other great articles that we had in the magazine. So, want to lean into it, want to recognize mental health awareness, Military Appreciation Month.
Uno momento, Juanito.
I know. I'm so sorry. I know you're looking at me giving me a death stare.
I am giving you this death stare.
So I want to introduce our co-host, and she's going to kick me under the table right now.
No,
so
that's not why I'm interrupting you. This is our very first episode. We have to tell people who we are.
Oh, I'm just too excited right now.
You are too excited. How about we introduce the podcast and the basis of it before we jump into the first magazine?
Yeah, so Veteran SA Podcast is just an extra leg of our magazine. So our magazine's a Veteran SA magazine, so you can see there.
Which is a branch of?
Our nonprofit Combat 22.
Eso, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So some of y'all that may not know, hopefully you follow and Combat 22, but we're a nonprofit organization that provides mental health services here in San Antonio. Tori is one of my board members and one of my best old friends that I had to drag her into this thing to get her to use her platform and use her experience as a sailor to help me navigate through, the nonprofits and the veteran community here in San Antonio and how she's plugged in and how we can reach many vets. So,
exactly. And so Veteran SA is just pretty much a different avenue of getting the resources and our mission out to the masses.
Yeah, exactly. We all know that mental health is hard to talk about.
Yes.
It's hard to reach for help. It's hard to say, hey, can you please help me? Like we talked about, I've told the story 1,000 times, is, when we started the nonprofit, we did some cool events, Boots and Bourbon and all these other great things. And we were able to get a lot of attention from the vets, right?
Yes.
But the minute we hosted our very first mental health resource fair, it was like crickets. We had nobody show up. We had all these great resources there, and it's kind of sparked a new thought, a new ideas, like how are we going to reach these vets?
Right. And
that's when we came up with the idea of, hey, let's do a newsletter. And then from the newsletter turned into the magazine, and here we are, 7 months later, and we're going strong. And
then it branched off into a podcast. And here
now
we are,
we're in the
first
podcast.
episode.
So little backstory on that, now that you're caught up.
There you go.
Thanks, Tori.
So veteran spouses, if you're a military brat, all of the above, if you're in the mental health space, if you're within the veteran or military community, this is for you. Or if you just want to hear two Mexicans talk like crazy people, boom, easy day.
If you want to hear some Navy stories, we got some good stories.
We do have some stories, especially Johnny over here.
I got quite a few. Some I can't because my kids will probably listen to this, but if not, I would be wilding out.
Maybe it'll help them think you're cool.
No, they do not think I'm cool whatsoever. So for the most part, our podcast is going to be aligned with what our magazine is talking about. So we're going to talk about all the great resources San Antonio has to offer, all the great veterans that we've met, doing our articles, doing our one of our segments is our Hero Spotlight, and which is one of our sponsors for our podcast, which is Vern. Vern is the owner franchise of Game Day Men's Health and in the Alamo Ranch area. So they have a lot of great resources for males and even females about how to get back in the game, get yourself right, physically, mentally, all the different things and pharmaceutical stuff that they have that's, really, really good for you.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
We'll definitely talk about that. So jumping into our Hero Spotlight, you had the honor of meeting Vern.
I did.
And talking to him about his career path, and his future ventures. How'd that go?
Vern is a badass, to say the least. He originally wanted to be special forces, and he took the ASVAB and had a ridiculously high score. So of course they automatically were like, no, you need to be intel. So that's exactly what he did. He was only in for 4 years, but he like hit the ground running with it. He did really well. And when he got out, he was a government contractor doing, I'm totally going to mess this up, Vern, I apologize. He did something of the nature of where he was kind of like getting analytics to make like the best special forces, sailor, soldier, airman type. Like he was doing like blood work and all this stuff that kind of like what people could predict would make the best soldier, for lack of better terms, you know, as like a blanket statement, which I thought was neat. Like, how do you even calculate that? Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's super awesome.
But that's like his MO. Has always really been into like fitness and really been into health and just the way the body works. And his big thing with Game Health was that, or Game Day, is that they want to try to help veterans outside of needing to be on any kind of like anti-anxiety, antidepressant medication, you know, maybe necessarily just talking to a therapist. He gets down to the root. They test the testosterone, they test the hormones. They have a lab in office, so that way it's awesome. A quick turnaround. So his big thing is he really wants to help people get down to the root of the problem, not just take care of the symptoms, which is pretty awesome. You know, I think a lot of times we just kind of want like that quick fix, which is great, which is awesome. But that's not going to really help in the long run. So that's what his goal is to really have a safe space for men where they can come, they feel comfortable. It is a men's only clinic at the moment. And I just thought that was awesome that he wanted to take his passion and everything he's learned throughout the years to genuinely help people and not just help mask it.
Yeah, and it's a really great office, and they have really great space there. And
it looks super cool, by the way. It kind of looks like a, what do you say, like a sports agent.
Yeah, he's got all the
office.
Sports in different rooms, have different walls about different sports and stuff like that. And you know, if you get a chance, and we'll have Vern on here, and we'll have him explain a little bit deeper in his story and things like that. But man, Vern is somebody I'm striving to be, man. He's freaking.
He is fit.
He is fit. I said, Vern, we're kind of crushing over you right now, but he is fit.
He's full of energy.
Full of energy.
Yeah.
And his wife as well. His wife is an awesome person too, and she works there with him, and it's really great to see them working as a team and their whole staff. I mean, their nurse practitioner, even the lab tech, she's pretty awesome. So, you know, definitely, you know, they got the whole spiel of trying to get you right, especially as a guy over 40. You know, you lose a little bit. I'm not as good as I once was. You know, it was one of those things. Yeah, you know, it's trying to get up and do things, and especially like guys like my age. You know, we have our sons that are, you know, in the men's age, and you know, they're trying to test us. So I'm like, hold on, man.
Don't get it twisted, son.
Don't get it twisted. I'm still the head honcho in this house. And with Vern's help, I'll be the head honcho for a little bit longer. So.
I'll still beat you up.
So definitely check out Game Day. If you're a guy trying to, you know, get back and trying to figure out, especially with your PTSD and things like that. I know I suffer from anxiety, depression, all those things before, and trying to find ways. And you know, sometimes
that's an alternative to medicine.
Exactly. And it's a really, really great tool. And one of the things is like with the VA, you know, it's really tough because they really have a really strict standard to when they can come and help you.
Yeah.
So, you know, with this, you know, when I talked to the VA, they were like, hey, yeah, you're not here at this threshold yet, so we can't help you. And I'm like, well, shoot, I still feel like crap.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go to places like Game Day and things like that, and they're like, oh, no, we got you.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're out at 12 o'clock at night, cleaning out the garage and making shelves. And they're like, what the hell got into you? And I'm like,
feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Don't stop me. So, Game Day, man, if you get a chance, check them out. Ask for Vern. He'll definitely get you right, get you all checked out.
Get you right, get you tight.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at Vern and get tight, that's a living proof. So moving on, also part of our magazine is we have two excellent doctors that write for us. So Dr. Coronado and Dr. Natasha Gonzalez. So they write about what's going on in the mental health right now. Dr. Coronado, she has a PhD in psychology, and she writes about what's all the great new things that are coming out, like techniques and whatever the ASPA, American Psychological Association, is bringing out about different mental health issues. And then Natasha, her great insight is that she used to be a former dependent of a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So she has all the great insight about dependence and how to support your veteran and all that good stuff, you know. So they definitely write about some great things. So if you get a chance, check it out, see what they are recommending for whatever that month is, especially if there's a mental health related month, you know, definitely. And I know you worked with Natasha before. How, you know, her insight is pretty great.
Yes, and her PhD is also in mental health, so they're both very knowledgeable in that area.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I know she dabs in some of the nutritional stuff too. Like she does like B12s and shots and things like that, and
IV drips, all that good
yes,
stuff.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm looking at. I'm trying to do that too. So I'm trying to get into everything. I'm trying to do everything. And Dr. Coronado, her son was an ex-Marine.
Yes, I remember that.
So yeah, so she's got a lot of experience, and I love when she brings her experience about, you know, being a mom and being away from your kid and letting your kid go, especially in the Marine Corps, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just, you know.
You just never know what that's going to bring and what that's going to entail. So that's
what they're going to bring home. So that, you know, leading into that, we also did our quick tribute to our Mother's Day. So Mother's Day just happened this month in May. We wanted to do something in the magazine a little bit different. Like, you know, we talk about the moms. We talk about the moms that are veterans. And it's great because that's a tough job to be a mom and in the military serving. That's tough.
Yes.
But I really wanted to kind of point out our moms.
Yeah.
Our moms that support us, our moms that are writing us letters in boot camp or wherever I'm dating. Back in the day, I don't know, we used to write letters.
They I don't still know what write they letters. Do. Okay. Calm down.
I was like, all right, I don't know. Everybody, I heard Air Force have phones and tennis shoes and all kinds of stuff. I don't know what's going on nowadays.
Well, in 2009, we were still writing letters.
So, you know, so I remember my mom writing me letters and all that good stuff. So, and the coolest story was I was on deployment. I was on the ship, and I was like, Mom, I haven't been home. I don't know how long. It was a back-to-back tour I did, and I was like, Mom, please send me some Big Red. I've been missing some Big Red. And she sent me some Big Red in the package and a bunch of other stuff, and took the Big Red to the mess decks, popped it open. Everybody looked back like, what is that? And they're like, Big Red? All the Texans came out.
Of course.
They're like, where'd you get that? How many you got? Hey, what do you need? What do you need? All the SHs, all you guys out there hoarding all the supplies and all the good candies and all that good stuff, man. We know you. But man, all the Texas guys came out like, what do you want for that Big Red? So, you know, shout out to my mom and my dad, but to my mom, she always all my graduations, all that stuff in the military, they're always making a trip out of it, going out there to see me. So it's pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah, and I know your parents have been always too, like right there with you. Your mom, your grandmother.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
It took a while. I think. Have you ever seen the show One Day at a Time? The newer one with Rita Moreno.
Oh, okay.
And
Yes.
Justina Machado. So she was in the Army, and she left for the Army. Her and her husband were in Iraq, and there's an episode where her mom had a heart attack, and they're like Cuban women who are always like arguing, which I think feels very reminiscent of Hispanic mothers and their daughters. And she had a heart attack, and she's, you know, they don't know if she's going to make it. And she's like telling her mom, and she's like upset with her because my mom didn't want me to join at all. You know, and she was very distant with me the first couple years. And, you know, she's telling her, she's like, you can't tell me, mommy, I'm not done arguing with you yet. And she tells her, she's like, you've never been supportive. I mean, I'm already going to cry. She's like, you've never been supportive. Even when I left for the Army, you didn't even go see me off. You didn't even, she's like, you didn't even care. You didn't even tell me goodbye. And then she like stops to cry, and she's like, but I know it's just because you were scared for me. And, you know, you didn't want to take me. Look, I'm really crying.
Yeah.
It was just because you were scared. You didn't know it was going to happen. All you know is all these things you were seeing on the news and blah, blah, blah. And I think that was really the first time that I clicked, like, Mexican mothers, unfortunately, they take their love as anger, and as a grown woman now, I can understand that because our frustration comes out that we're just mad and, they just want to protect you and they want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, it's like when you almost get hit by the car and they spank you.
Yes, exactly. And you're like, don't scare the shit out of me. Yeah. And so she wasn't always supportive, but being older, I definitely think it was just a lot of anxiety, and she was just worried. She didn't know what was going to happen to me, and not even just in a wartime area. It was more so, who was anybody going to look after me? Was I going to get assaulted somewhere? She wasn't going to be there to help me and protect me all the time. So I wouldn't say that she wasn't necessarily supportive. I think it was just more mom's worry, and it's a whole lot different when it's a boy versus a girl, not a less or more worry. I think just a different kind of scared. I did not necessarily always get that support, but I just think it was more so she was just anxious to make sure that I was okay.
Well, she couldn't fool me. I met your mom a bunch of times,
and I think maybe
I know your mom pretty well. And
I'm like my mom. The more we care for you, the more we're going to distance ourselves because we're not good with emotions. And so I think that's what it is. And everybody tells me, they're like, she's so proud of you, and I'm like, tell her to tell me that one day. I want to hear it.
I know. I've talked to your mom a bunch of times.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I 1000% know she loves, supported. She's glad that I did what I did, but it was kind of hard for her to show it a lot of times. But I think that it was just it because she it was more of she couldn't protect me all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, moms.
So shout out to the moms. Long story short.
Thank you. Long story short, before we start crying and all this other stuff, thank you very much for supporting your vets. Being there for them. Especially when we get deployed and all that. That's the biggest thing. There's nothing beats a letter from your mom, a box from your mom.
Coming home,
especially when you're that young, man. Some of us that just joined, 19 years old. I know when I joined, I just told my mom, like, hey, I joined the Navy. I leave in like 2 months. She's like, what just happened? Like, just gotta do something.
Yeah.
So they're unprepared too. Like you said, they're not 100% on it because they really don't know, but they have no choice because they can't stop us, right? So,
because at that time we didn't need to sign the paperwork anymore.
Yeah, we didn't need to sign the paperwork. I don't need your permission. I'm out of here. So
big ups to all the mamas.
Yeah, thank you,
baby
moms.
Appreciate
mamas. It. Yes,
the baby's mama's mamas.
Yes. So big shout out. Appreciate you. So moving back into one of our really cool topics is our trade talk. So May was also a Trades Appreciation Month.
Okay.
So talking about like your welders, your electricians.
All my CBs.
Yeah, CBs. And
the utilities men, the steel workers.
Yeah, HTs. You got your HTs. You got your CMs, your construction mechanics.
There you go. Your electricians mates, your everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, trades is what really, really, especially for San Antonio, we're really awesome in manufacturing, and we still got a connection to the oil field.
Yes.
We still got connections to all the old school trades, electrician, plumbing, things like that. So Skills Appreciation Month was in May. So we did a little article. We asked a few of veterans that are actually in the trade. So we actually talked from Rhino Roofers, Kurt. He was one of the sales construction guys that does all the estimates on the roofs and things like that. So he kind of talked a little bit about his journey from getting out, trying to find a specific area to want to work into, and talked a little bit about being in the trade, being in construction, what kind of success he's seen, and he's doing really well with working with the Rhino Roofer Group, which also is a veteran-owned company.
Nice.
So that's pretty awesome. And we talked to some of the kids also from like the trade schools, like Hallmark and what's the other one? St. Philip's College. It has a lot of the trades like welding and things like that, where you see a lot of. You also talked about one of your friends that also has their own business in
HVAC.
In HVAC, yeah,
and that was something that he did while he was in the Air Force.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he acquired that skill.
So he has his own business now. He has seen a lot of success in that, and
very much so.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, I know corporate America sometimes doesn't align with
with everybody. Yeah.
And
some people like to work on with their hands. Not everybody wants to sit in front of a computer.
Sit in front of a computer or have a bunch of people around them.
Exactly. Not everybody's good with customer service. We understand that part.
Yeah. So I know being in recruitment, you know, I used to hear that all the time when I get vets that get out and like, well, you know, I want to be in this. I got all these degrees and do all this stuff. And they're like, oh, but I'm doing better now with HVAC, you know, or something like that.
Don't sleep on the trades, guys.
Yeah.
They're making so much money. It's becoming a lost art, so it's more needed. People make great money off of, you know, working with their hands. Not everybody wants to sit at a desk or go to school. I feel for a lot of years they were pushing college on the millennials, and then we realized that college or no college, it's really who you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So now the trades, I feel like, are really coming back with a vengeance, because they need people who know how to work with their hands.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only so much AI could do.
Exactly, right? It can only write so much for you.
Exactly.
But
it's not gonna crank a wrench necessarily.
Yeah, and you're talking about less debt. You go to St. Philip's versus, you know, a bigger school.
Right.
You know, or something like that. So you get less debt and you get a certificate and you're on your way making, I think Toyota's paying like $20, $30, $25 an hour plus all the overtime they get.
Right.
It's insane. It's crazy that, you know, that's something you can get started off right away.
Yeah,
and then,
the oil fields, they got a family over there, family over here, so they're definitely making the money.
They're making money, got to support multiple. But yeah, so I mean, if you're interested and you can hit us up and we can get you some resources, or check out our magazine. We have some resources in there if you're interested in learning a pathway to, if you're a vet trying to get out or a military trying to get out and trying to find a path for yourself. And, you know, we have definitely some resources on our website, in our magazine, on the different schools and certifications. Because you go through like the Texas workforce stuff, they get like CDL classes. I think for a while, animal colleges were giving out free trade schools.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so not on top of your your GI Bill and all that stuff, they're also giving free classes for those type of things.
Oh my God, if there's one thing I can stress to the veterans, ask. I promise you there is something for everyone.
Yes, 100%. 100%. And then also our transition. So we have Quincy. Quincy writes our transition part of our magazine, where he talks about transitioning from military to veteran life and all those different things. Like you said, ask, because I do get a lot of it. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
I
do too.
That.
All the time.
All the time. And as a recruiter, I'm like, come on.
Right.
Come on, man. This is where you got to check yourself.
Yes.
And just be honest with yourself and say, hey, did you really look?
Right.
Well, no, man, I didn't really.
Oh, or they searched one place and then they did it. I'm like, come on, man, Google.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, Quincy does a really good job. He's been in the business, in the game of transition for a long time. He works with a really, really big company that concentrates a lot on DOD contracts and stuff like that.
Nice.
So,
I got to hit him up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that guy has so much.
He knows everything.
Yeah, he has so much knowledge and experience. And he's even one of the founders of a group called Mill City Meetup. So Mill City Meetup was like a networking. Mm-hmm. It's still pumping, still going. They do it once a month.
I saw they're having a pool party next month.
They had a pool party. I mean, if you're a transitioning vet or you're military, looking to transition, check them out. You know, they have a really good program. It's really cool. I used to participate in the very first one. I've hired a lot of people through those events and stuff. But it's a really great way to network with people. And they have some really good connections with people that are in really good positions.
I didn't even know that. Shoot, I need to go over there and do my own little recruiting.
Yeah,
I need to laminate my cards.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, laminate that thing, get it in there.
There you go.
Put it, under the drink.
I'm going to put them on everyone's cards.
Yes.
Everyone's cars in their windshield.
You got to do it. That's how you got to do it. Sometimes,
nice.
Boots to the street is always is the best way to do it. But check out Quincy's. Yeah, shout out to Quincy. Definitely check out his article. He's got a lot of great stuff in there, and he will be able to help you. You can reach out to him as well through our website, and he'll be able to get you the right resources. So moving on to our next topic, it's our veteran social life.
Which kind of, we can bounce that off of what we were just talking about, Quincy.
So talking about Quincy, my guy, he also runs a group called Stogies and Kicks. Mm-hmm. So Stogies and Kicks started off as a meetup group where they had cigars. They have two things that they love. They love shoes and they love cigars.
I love both of those things. Why I have not been to an event yet is beyond me. But
I love the cigar bit. Kicks, I'm all right. I mean, I'm just a old school poor kid. Like, you know, we never had any of that stuff. So I was like, I get my shoes and I beat the hell out of them. I can't be like, oh, don't touch that shoe. I only wear it one time.
Right.
Like,
Don't crease it. Don't crease it.
Oh my God, my kids kill me when it's like, what are you doing? I'm tiptoeing, man.
Hey, those shoes are not cheap though. So
No,
appreciate that they take care of them.
Yeah,
in that
they do.
sense.
Yeah, back then, no, I beat my shoes up. But so there's so many. We have a whole page dedicated to all the great events that are going on in San Antonio.
Yes, there's always something.
Yeah, there's always something veteran related. I know there's stuff going on. And for Memorial Weekend, we have Fiesta events on there. Joint Base San Antonio always has some great stuff going on.
Right.
So even if you're a vet, you know, you can get base access. If you have your VA card, you can get on there, get base access and be able to get some of those events and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
the VFWs are always having events, the American Legions. I mean, honestly, if you don't know anything about San Antonio, we are a military city. There's like 4 bases here. Everyone retires out of here because it's, you know, least expensive place to live compared to anywhere else in America, for the most part. And there's literally always a veterans event.
Yeah, definitely. One of our big partners is Post 76 downtown, right on the Riverwalk. They got a great cantina there. They got a really cool, atmosphere. They got a lot of older vets there, but it's kind of a cool mix.
All ready to tell you their salty stories.
But it's a
Buy
cool
them a
mix.
$5 drink. They'll be real quick to tell you about their.
It's a cool mix because it's an open post.
Right.
So anybody can go, non-vet, non-military, you can go out
and
there.
It's downtown.
And it's downtown,
Very
right on the
accessible
Riverwalk.
walking.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great eating areas in that place, so you can go eat, grab a drink, hear some war stories.
Yep.
And take some good photos and you know, have a good night. So definitely check out our veteran social life page and check out what all the great events that are still in May, and in our June we'll have the same article as well, so you can check out what's going on in June too. And our resource spotlight. So also in there we talk about all the great resources that San Antonio has to offer. We put in there just enough, but there's a ton of resources.
Yeah.
San Antonio is not only, you know, military city USA, so we have a bunch of resources, but just in general life. I mean, you're talking about, you know, poverty and homelessness and things like that. San Antonio has a big heart.
Right.
So we have a lot of great churches. Our San Antonio Food Bank is always doing great stuff, always partnering with community and corporate companies and things like that to kind of, you know, spread awareness on hunger and all that type of stuff. And so there's always great resources out there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I feel like even smaller companies that don't really have that are set up like an organization, like there's food pantries. There's a food pantry on the south side. There's a food pantry on the west side. I think they're standing one up on the east side. There's food clothing drop-offs everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even have to be a registered organization, and they're literally everywhere. There's one of the other organizations that I work for. They collect prom dresses and formal wear. So if you have any kids that are lower income that can afford, they can go and see through the selections that people have. I think that's coming if it hasn't wrapped up already, because we're at the end of the year. But yeah, San Antonio is really, really, really good when it comes to the community organization.
You got big organizations like Bexar County Veteran Services. If you're needing like help with your VA disability benefits, you need help just with like paying some bills or paying, you know, rent or mortgage, or car broke down. They got so many great resources there that it's just ridiculous. It's like a one-stop shop.
Right. And
they're really, really awesome. So definitely, you know, take a look at our magazine and check out the resource page. They have something for financial. They have stuff for food, shelter. The Coalition of Veterans and Family are also a great group. So, you know, check out that page so you can see what services are out there. So if you need it or a friend needs it or something like that, you know exactly where to go, exactly who to ask for. If you can reach out to us or our nonprofit Combat 22, and we can help you get to those resources.
Yep.
So yeah, please, vets, man, if you need the help, just ask.
It's what we're here for.
Exactly. I could be at a baseball game right now, but I'm here right now because I want to get this information to you guys. So check out that page. We have one every month there when we always add new resources.
Yes. Or even if you're an organization and you feel like we have not put you on there, please let us know, because the more things that we know about, we would love to be sure that people are aware of it.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So anybody that's in, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, and you feel like there's some way that you can contribute, whether it be social events or helping, community involvement, please let us know.
Yeah, for sure. We want to get that information out there. So awesome. Yeah. So another great appreciation for the month was Nurses Week. That was a pretty cool little tribute that they do every year for the nurses. They kind of do different things for them throughout the month. But I wanted to really highlight the VA nurses.
Yes.
They're pretty awesome. I know the VA gets a lot of bad rap, about, just different things. Especially like vets now, we're getting old and grumpy.
Right, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I've been to the VA. It's all grumpy old people.
I know. I'm them too, and I see that line, I'm like, or like, you got to come back. I get it, but I mean, when I first got diagnosed with PTSD in 2014, man, I didn't know what was going on with me.
Right.
And I kept going to the VA, the ER, thinking I was having a heart attack, like sweating, thinking I'm gonna pass out, and I go, I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack, and they just like, without question, even though I was probably like my 4th time there in like 3 months,
right?
They still took me to the back. They took care of me. They, made sure everything, hooked me up to the machine and said, hey, no, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Start talking to me about other things, and and I get why some people get grumpy. That kind of a first alternative, the first kind of response is like, hey, we have these pills and this and that, and it's kind of like, but I mean, it's not like, hey, take these or you can't get out of here.
Right. And again, our older vets lacked the knowledge of the resources.
Yes. Yeah.
They didn't know what to ask for as much as we do now. We're a much more knowledgeable society.
Oh yeah. So I'm like, use those benefits. Those nurses there are freaking amazing.
Yes.
They're awesome.
I haven't been to Audie Murphy in a long time, but the one on 151, they're on it.
Yeah, they're pretty on it.
That hospital is humongous.
Yeah, it's super nice there. I like it a lot. I done my blood work. I haven't gotten to anything else, but like I said, Audie Murphy was, like I said, I was there like, well, my girlfriend, she's a nurse, so she's like, you're like a flight risk, they call it. I'm like, why is that? Because you're always over there. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a term for people that go to the ER all the time.
God forbid I go check on my health.
For God forbid, I think I'm dying. I want to get saved. Jesus. So, it's just one of those great things that, we have. And then not only that, but we also want to appreciate the vets that went into nursing too. It's like serving to serve. I mean, those are some of the top tier veterans that roll into, coming out of the service.
Yeah, and it's not
like,
easy
hey, I
dealing
served
with
my
sick people.
country. Yeah, we can all just be like, hey, I served my country. I did my time. I'm good. I want to roll in to my next life and do something different.
Definitely.
And these people choose to,
go and get yelled at by the grumpies.
Yeah, get yelled at by the grumpies, and and take that oath again to say, hey, I'm here to serve you and help you and protect you. And so shout out to all the nurses, and the VAs, and even in the clinics and our appointments and stuff like that. Even though, no, I don't want to weigh myself. I don't want to let me take all my stuff out of my pockets. Yeah. I don't want to weigh myself with all that. I don't want to see that big number. But shout out to all you nurses out there. We truly appreciate everything you guys do for us and deal with the grumpy old men.
Yes.
Like me. And then moving on to a big day this month is Memorial Day. So we like to reflect on first off, I want to just talk about Memorial Day.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of confusion. Sometimes people get confused between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Yes. They're like, Happy Memorial Day. I'm like, I'm alive still.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm okay.
Yes, exactly.
So just for those out there, Veterans Day is to, support the ones that served and still alive and here. Memorial Days are the ones that we celebrate those
You're
who
remembering
yes,
them.
we're remembering and celebrating their sacrifices
Yes.
and things that they did. So just kind of, if you're never been in the military and you listen to the podcast, just remember that. Just, so you don't,
Yes.
Sometimes some vets do bite. So
Yes, no,
you don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, and be careful who you tell Happy Memorial Day to.
Yes, yeah,
It's
definitely.
not always happy. It's not always a happy memorial
Yes.
for everybody. Everybody grieves differently, and especially when it comes to those who have lost their lives to suicide and things of that nature. It gets very intense. It gets very personal. And also, I do want to mention while we're saying that, especially around this time, please take care of your health. This is definitely a time when, we're on vacation, and a lot of people see it as they have the day off and they're partying, they want to hang out, they want to go to the lake. But, for some people, it really is a day of mourning.
Yeah, for sure. I know cracking the beers and doing hot dogs and all that stuff, and it's kind of what the norm is just during this time frame. But just making sure you're taking the time to really, truly appreciate those people that never came home. And, there's some great memorials that are all over San Antonio. One of the Veterans Memorial is off where the Tobin Center is, right down the street from here on Broadway. They have a beautiful memorial for Vietnam veterans and for just veterans in general. So if you get a chance and you want to celebrate the right way of celebrating and remembering of Memorial Day, just go out there and visit that memorial and get a good feeling of what the day really means.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
Awesome. So also moving on, we have our last article, and one of our funnest ones too is Mrs. Harper. So Quincy's wife, Madi, really, really awesome. She's still in the Air Force, riding for us, really awesome. But she has a really good expertise about food and restaurants, and she has a really good relationships with a lot of good people. So she did a huge spotlight on Smoke barbecue. I've been to Smoke, met the owner a few times, have a buddy that works there. It's a pretty awesome place. I mean, I like it. I know back then in the day when they first started, it kind of got pretty big, and at some events I didn't go to, but the food, the macaroni, macaroni with the brisket, oh my God.
Shout out to Smoke. I was there. I was there all summer 2023. I do know Adrian.
Yeah, she's like, I do know Adrian. Adrian, shout out, bro. Appreciate you. Always with the vets too. He's always doing good things.
Yes.
And Benny, my boy.
I know Benny too.
Yeah. Benny, my boy, always hooks it up. He's like, you want a drink? Come on, Benny. You know I want to drink.
I know. Bring back your Tejano concerts.
Hey, right?
That's why I was there all summer 2023.
Oh, did he have Michael Segalo one time?
He had everybody. They've had everyone there.
I was like, that's some good stuff. Michael Segalo.
I have seen everybody over there. But yeah, good times. Yeah, that's awesome.
But Smoke's got some really, really great food. They got a really cool atmosphere. They have an upstairs, downstairs, and even an outside upstairs area. Awesome for pictures.
They have a rooftop now.
Yeah,
they have
a rooftop.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Well,
man.
you probably been there in a while. It looks totally different now.
Oh my God.
So they have a rooftop. The bottom part, it's more of like a classy, loungy area. So that's pretty cool. But also back to the foodie thing, I like that because again, the fact that we have 5 bases here. Whenever I was stationed at Lackland, people were always asking me like, "What's there to do here?" And now they know what they can do here.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
So not only can you get a good drink, get some good music.
Exactly.
But
It's
also
downtown. You it's a good view.
Awesome.
There's a lot of things around that area now.
Yeah, and it's got a good mixture of crowd too. You got the older crowd, you got a younger crowd. So it's got a good mixture of that kind of stuff too. And then you got the huge TV so you can catch the game out there, all that good stuff. So yeah, so shout out to Adrian and the folks over at Smoke, Benny, my boy. If you get a chance, if you're in San Antonio, trying to check out a spot, definitely check them out.
Yes.
She also did write about some veteran-owned food catering businesses. So if you want to check out that, you want to support small businesses and veteran-owned businesses, also check out the article. She has a list of catering companies that are veteran-owned that will cater to your parties, cater to your any kind of event that you have. So check out her article. She has all that good stuff on there. So, all right. So come to the end. We made it through our very first podcast. Definitely We talked about some really great things. We talked about all the different resources San Antonio has to offer. Your great article with Vern and Game Day. Thanks for the sponsorship. Appreciate you. Check them out. So, keep a lookout, about all the different, all
the different events all the
and
food,
things like that. Yeah.
All the resources that we provide. Like we talked about Dr. Coronado, Dr. Gonzalez. They're both there. They're very knowledgeable. I am almost positive that they wouldn't mind if anybody had any other questions, or if you guys have any topics that maybe you're curious about that they should write about. They're always willing to hear from the actual veterans themselves and the people who are reading the articles, as are we. So tons of stuff. I feel like we're like the San Antonio Current for vets.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're trying to hope for. So if you got any ideas on what you want to see in the magazine, we're an open book.
Yes.
We're open to all ideas and what you want to see, what you want to hear. We got, Tori here. She's got hitting people with the hard interview questions, and we have a pretty cool, hopefully a pretty cool a Hero Spotlight next month.
Yes.
There's a lot of great things happening next month. Women Veterans Appreciation is next month as well.
Yes.
So we'll highlight some really, really cool women veterans that are doing great things in the community.
Most definitely. And before we forget, we are also, just to tie into this, but with Combat 22, at the end of the month, we are starting our Veteranos en Tacos.
Yes.
A group for people to come in, enjoy some tacos, some stories, todos los veteranos del West Side.
Yeah.
Or any veterans who just want to come and, talk with a fellow veteran and, get to know some people here, share some camaraderie along with some tacos. And then on June 7th, we have our
May 30th.
May 30th?
May 30th is our peer support group golf outing.
I was way off. Lo siento, sorry. I knew there was tons of events coming around.
It's at a really cool place called Four Swing Lounge.
There we go.
So it's pretty awesome. 281 in Bitters. Yeah. It's a golf simulator, and we're inviting 20 vets. We still got some spots available. So if you're a vet, you're checking this out, definitely hit me up, and we'll be playing some golf on the simulators. You can win some prizes. We got some free food, free drinks. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. And, we got a bunch of different events. You can check them out on Combat 22.
We will be sharing also on in Veteran SA. So we normally do two events a month for the most part?
For the most part,
yeah. At least one?
At least one minimum. We do have our peer support group that meet every other Thursday at the VFW Post 76 downtown.
Yes.
So starting, believe this Thursday, tomorrow,
which is the 22nd.
The 22nd of May.
Depending when you're listening.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So just starting from this day and the 22nd, and then every other Thursday, we will have our peer support group. So if you need someone to talk to, a group to talk to, resources, where to get resources, just come by, talk to us. One of our other board members runs that. Her name is Brandy, ex-Air Force retiree, has a lot of great experience, comes from a medical background as well, and she helps kind of guide you to find you the right resources, find you the right course of action to help you with whatever you're going through. I mean, life is hard just being a person.
Right.
And then being a vet just adds on to it. So nothing wrong with asking for a little bit of help or asking for any resources to kind of help you get yourself right. All right. So appreciate you tuning in. Please follow, subscribe, attend any of our future events that we have. I think we will be back. I don't think I know we'll be back.
We will be back next month.
Yes. So check out the magazine. June will be out our June issue will be out the first week of June. Keep a lookout on our website, www.veteransa.com. You'll be able to see our magazines there and all our great events that we got coming up.
Veteran SA on Instagram as well as Facebook.
Yep.
So find us. We're out there.
Yeah.
We're out here.
Give us that feedback. We want to hear what your thoughts are.
Exactly.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Until next time.
Yeah. Laters.